Hello, it's 9:35 on the 1st of May, 2024. I just wanted to stop by for a quick one. I was just reflecting on something this morning as I'm doing my dishes. Um, I had a I like doing things like tarot, and I go to, psychic readings and things like that. And I find it all really interesting, and there's always some takeaway from it. Even if it's just some words of wisdom. Maybe they haven't really tuned into anything specific about me, but there might be some words of wisdom amongst it. Um, and I do believe in people with psychic abilities and intuition and all that stuff. I just think sometimes, we're human. Sometimes you're not going to totally um, tune in exactly. But anyway, I digress. So I was reflecting on one because I record them and I listen to it later, and I was reflecting on one the other day, and uh, part of the conversation that came up is in regards to my dad, if he's on the other side. And the woman asked when he died, and he died um, before he wasn't quite 70 yet. And and then as she continued to talk and go through stuff and talk about life and purpose and all the rest of it, and at some point she said in the conversation, about my dad wasting his life, um, because he died of health issues that he could have fixed, but he chose not to. He chose to ignore advice from the doctor about changing his ways. And I reflected on that. It was, like I said, it came up this morning when I was doing dishes, and I thought, well, first of all, I mean, it didn't make me mad or anything like that, because we all say things. I mean, this is a normal thing. When someone dies when we consider them to still be young, we most often will say, what a waste. But then I thought about those words, and I thought, well, who determines what is a waste? What's a waste of a life? And I reflected on that. And while every relationship has some portion of dysfunction. My dad always provided for his family. He never, to my memory, he never hit me or, scolded me in a physical way. Um, as I say, always provided for family, always looked out for us. And even as an adult, if I needed, if I was running short, I needed $10 to fill up my car or 10 pounds to fill up my car, my dad would have been there. So I don't know why. I mean, I wouldn't see it's a waste. And also, if if my dad hadn't done his life the way his life was, then I probably wouldn't be here. So in a way, it's saying, well, if he had taken a different route, it could have been a completely different route. He could have sorted things out in his health when he was a young person, in his teens or 20s, rather than waiting, till he was nearly 70 and having the doctor say, you need to change now or else. So it might be that I wasn't here, which, considering the Earth is in the state it's in, and this is a crazy clown world, that might not have been a bad thing. But I digress. I find it an interesting thing, but we do say it. It is part of our natural like language expression. When we see someone that's in their teens or 20s and we say, oh, that's sad that they've died, oh, what a waste of a life, and you think, well, who determines what is a waste of a life, and how do you know it was a waste of a life? Now, we all have different religious and or spiritual beliefs. Some people believe there is nothing. You die and you're nothing, and that's it. And other people believe you are a soul here experiencing the human condition. But whatever your belief is a life a waste? Whether you live 5 minutes, 5 years, 50 years, 100 years, surely there's something to be gleaned from it, from the person experiencing, the human experiencing it. And there's something to be gleaned from the people that are around you, or the beings that are around you. It may be that you've spent your life in solitude just growing plants or orchids. Maybe your favorite thing is orchids and you grow orchids. So there's joy there in Mother Nature, and connecting with plant life, and for the human themselves. So it's an interesting turn of phrase, and I do kind of, in my moments where I just kind of get into my head, think about some of the phrases and things that we say, and there is some weirdness out there of how we kind of sum up stuff. Like, as I said, like to say, well, someone wasn't quite 70, and they basically had some very poor health issues that they could have corrected, so what a waste. And well, it wasn't. And I'm sure if he was sat here in front, he might have said, well, I wish I'd lived longer. I wish I'd taken heed of the doctor. However, I don't consider my life a waste. I would imagine. I don't know. He's not here. Anyway, that's just a random thing I thought about this morning. And yeah, that's all I want to say. So thank you for listening, and namaste.